You don't have to sell it, but why don't you get your business to a place where it could be sold? Because there's a lot of freedom that comes in the simplicity of having something that is built to sell, which means that you are not the cog. You are not the thing in the middle that's required for all of the things. If you can take yourself out and the business can run without you, isn't that what we all want? And then to be able to insert myself in whatever areas I want because I want to, because I get to, not because I have to. How are you going to market yourself? What are you saying? What's the conversation? How are you positioning yourself? Because if you're positioning yourself as shooter editor, that's not as compelling and that's not as helpful for a client that needs somebody that understands more, that understands how marketing works or why it works or what are the things that are going to work when it comes to creating. What steps are you taking to try to find clients? And my guess is this person isn't taking any steps. He's waiting for people like us to reach out and hire him. And he's waiting for his past clients to reach back out, or he's waiting for those past clients to refer him to other people. And if that's what you're doing, if that's called hope marketing, if that's what you're counting on to build your business, like that's going to be really hard, especially in today's day and age. It took me 9 years to realize that I was building the wrong kind of video business. I always thought freedom meant doing everything myself, being the creative, the editor, the salesperson, and the project manager. But now I want to build a business that could run without me, maybe even sell one day. In today's episode, I am pulling back the curtain on where I'm at with my current video production business. I'm going to share the wins, the shifts, the hard truths, and the surprising conversations that are reshaping everything for me, including the one I had recently with a fellow filmmaker who's walking away from the industry because there's quote unquote no more work. Spoiler alert, there's plenty of work, just not the same kind of work, and we might have to play a different kind of game. If you're still in the game or wondering if it's worth staying or maybe even starting, this episode is for you. What's up, my friend? Hey, welcome to another episode of the Grow Your Video Business Show. I am your host, Ryan Koral from Studio Sherpas and Tell Studios, and I am so excited that you're here. It's been a while. It's been a minute, as they say, since I've recorded a solo episode. Welcome. If you're brand new here, hey, I have a gift for you. I've been in the video production space for over 20 years. Spoiler alert, I'm sticking around, okay? At least that's the current plan. And if you want to learn from me, from hundreds of interviews with other filmmakers, plus hundreds of mistakes that I've made as I've built a team, run a studio, like an actual, have a studio space and all of this stuff, I've put together a workshop just for you that I would love for you to have. And you can get access to this workshop. It's about 45 minutes long. If you go to studiosherpas.com/10x filmmaker. So I try to jam my best, most impactful stuff in here, biggest lessons learned, so that you can fail faster and not make the same mistakes that I've made. You're going to make mistakes regardless, but if you can make fewer of them and get to work faster, doing more of the work that's going to make you more of the money, that's what I want for you. This episode, where it's a little moody. I forgot to turn on my overhead lights, which actually creates a little bit more. This is a different ambiance, but hey, I'm here for it. Let's just roll with it. Okay. But again, you can get access to that workshop. You go to studiosherpas.com/10x filmmaker. It's the number 10, the letter X. What else is there? X 10x filmmaker. Anyway, thank you for being here. I'm excited to just share. I poured myself a fresh cup of coffee, and I'm going to rant maybe a little bit. But first I want to share a confession. I want to be completely honest and share. It's kind of embarrassing. I've shared this story with my mastermind. I've shared this story with some very close friends, people ask like, how's business going? And I can finally say that through 2017, 18, 19, we hit $1 million multiple times through those years. And then 2020 just crushed most businesses. I know a couple of guys who've been in my mastermind before that, they're like, 2020 was the best year that we've ever had. And it's just gotten better since then. And that's amazing. But that hasn't been the story for us. I mean, since 2020, we've had some really low years in revenue and some really high years in revenue. We've had turnover. I mean, two of the longest standing employees that I've ever had with a cumulative, they were with me for about 20 years. Those guys left. It's just been, what's a good word for it? It's been a grind. And I think being a business owner, I didn't think that this would be easy. But, at some point I thought, I thought some of the things that I figured out would make things easier, and they probably have. But I will say that there's just been so many changes since COVID, and I'm not going to blame COVID. That's not my thing. I'm not going to say like, oh, well, but there are just so many things that contribute to a lot more of the challenges that we have. And really where I found myself just in the past like 6 to 8 months, I found myself realizing that I had been building this production business based off of goals and dreams that I had set years ago. And not even so much the goals and dreams, but with the team that I had from years ago. And I just found myself like, I don't have that team anymore. And so much has changed in the landscape of this work with what my own skill set, the things I really like doing, where I find a lot of life in this work. And I just started asking myself, I'm like, why am I doing these things? Like some of the things that I was doing, the way that I was trying to build a business, I'm like, this isn't what I want. And so I was finding myself very unfulfilled, and also not making the kind of money that I had hoped to be making at this point in my career. And so then I just started asking deeper questions like, what should I do? And it got to a point, I mean, even just a couple of months ago, I'm in a mastermind. So I host a mastermind for those that don't know, but I'm also in a mastermind, and it's in that group. And I have a coach, and actually, or the past 3 months, I've had multiple conversations with multiple coaches, and just sharing like, here's where things are at. And there was a question that was asked of me, like if everything, and this is again, like 3 months ago, I've been processing so much, and I've been doing a lot of internal work to figure out what do I actually want. But the question was posed to me, hey, if Tell Studios, which is my production brand, if Tell Studios burned down to the ground tomorrow and you didn't have employees, you didn't have gear, you didn't have a building or anything like that, what would you do? And I was like quick to say, I wouldn't rebuild the business. And he's like, oh, okay. Tell me more. Like what would you do? And as I process, I'm like, why wouldn't I build the business? It's really, I think it's become something where I've been trying to force what the business used to be and what we used to do and where I used to find enjoyment. I've been trying to make that happen, even though, 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, everything is so different from 10 years ago. Technology is so different. The way that, AI, cameras, the way companies are using content. So many companies today have in-house content people. The fact that people can create their own B-roll now with AI generation, it's like it's just completely different. And as I reflect and think about what do I love most about the work that I get to do, it's not about filmmaking anymore. I think there's definitely an element of storytelling, and there's an element of legacy and impact, like having conversations with people and helping them understand the impact that they're having, helping them understand, when we do a brand film for a company, a lot of times it's like, well, I don't, we're just like everybody else. It's like, no, you're not. Your why is different. How you got here is different. Your story is different. So I'm going to pull that out from you. And when I get opportunities to do that, like, I light up. It's so fun. What I've realized kind of accidentally is, man, I've had this podcast for over 400 years. Over 400 episodes. And I've gotten to do so many interviews. And I'm like, this is what lights me up. Hosting our in-person event for filmmakers and having people come to our studio. I host a monthly breakfast at my studio for business leaders. I'm in a mastermind with a bunch of other business owners that aren't related to video, but are doing marketing and course creation and coaching and stuff like that. Like, I light up in these different conversations in these different areas, building community, being a part of community, facilitating community, leading a mastermind, like all of these things. I'm like, man, like these, like, I'm in my sweet spot when I'm with people, when I'm trying to encourage and help people see what they might not see. Like, that's what in the stories that we've been telling kind of since day one, that's been my job too, is to help pull that stuff out of our clients. So as I built a team, and as I stopped shooting as much, and as I stopped editing as much, and then eventually to where I don't shoot and where I don't edit, for me, I think I've tried to find what is my new purpose in this work. Like, right now, my biggest responsibility is finding new work. And it's not that fun. The chase is like not that what I really like. And I don't know if everybody else feels like this, but to have an ideal client sitting across from me and for me to engage in a conversation, to take them through a workshop, to take my client and their team through a workshop and try to get to the soul of who it is that they are and what's the purpose of this piece and how could it have an impact, and then trying to put together something that I think will reflect their story and who they are and impact and help them grow their business. Those are things that I get way more excited about today than getting a beautiful shot, getting an epic shot. That was the stuff early on that was the most exciting. 5D Mark II comes out, 50 millimeter 1.2 lens, 85 millimeter 1.4. Was it 1.2 or 1.4? Or is it? I don't remember. The L series, like shooting on these lenses and getting these like just absolutely stunning imagery. That was fun. There was a thrill to that. Putting together pieces that would make couples cry and that would make businesses just like, this is awesome. We're so glad that we have that. That stuff just feels different to me today. It doesn't have the same, getting the shot is not. Now, when my team gets the shot, I'm like, dude, that's amazing. That is so cool. We're high-fiving. But for me, I'm looking for a different kind of fulfillment in my work. So I have been processing a lot, and I'm grateful for the people that I have in my life who know me, who know how I'm gifted. They know what my strengths are, and who are encouraging me to continue to press in and continue to ask that question. And so that's a question I would ask you. I mean, maybe you are just starting out in your video business. And if you are, this is an amazing industry. It is amazing. It's got its challenges like any other industry. And a lot of industries have a lot of challenges right now, but to be able to work with clients and to be able to give them assets that can help them, to help them navigate their own story, to understand what's important, what's not, it's really powerful. It's powerful work. And depending on the kind of video that you do, you can make an incredible impact. If you've been following along and you've listened to some past episodes, Matt Davis, I had him on the show recently. He helped found this whole brand years ago with me, and he's realized that his heartbeat is legacy films. And so that's what he's pursuing. And it's okay to change directions because our stories change, our stories develop. And to ask that question, what do I really want to do? I think is so important. And I wonder how many episodes I have where that's the question, but I don't think enough of us, hand raised, me included, ask that question enough or spend enough time sitting with it. Because I think it makes us a little bit uncomfortable, because what it means is if somebody asks you the question, hey, if your entire business burnt down tomorrow, what would you do? Then you're forced to think that maybe you would be doing something else, which makes you realize maybe you're doing the wrong thing today, which makes you think, or makes me think, well, shoot, that just means I've got more work to do to figure out what that thing is. And that takes more brain power, and it's just easier to stay locked in on what I know works, what I know makes money. And that's where I think I found myself definitely through the years of COVID. Like, hey, let's just stick to what we know, what we do. A lot of you heard me share probably 2 years ago. I said, hey, we're gonna launch a brand for higher ed and do higher ed storytelling, because man, my whole story started there. And just as my son just graduated high school, he's going to college, I started asking the question of like, oh my gosh, like we haven't been pushing college on him, or really like having him even think about that. It was just like he wasn't interested. So we're just like, okay, like, well, we're not going to push it. And then realizing that all of my best friends, my wife, my story, my job, this work that I do today, all of that was born out of my 4 years living on campus with all these other students. Man, to create a brand that's where I get to work in, that's what I was all in on that. I launched that brand, and then immediately, as I'm doing all of this work, launching a podcast for it, networking with all these people in higher ed, I looked at my production. I looked at our bank account, and I was like, oh, shoot, I haven't been pushing this brand. This same story happened back when this brand launched in 2016. I was so focused on building this thing out, building a digital course, building a podcast, that my video production brand was suffering. I wasn't working the pipeline. There was no work coming in. And I sat down with my team. And I'm like, you guys, there's no money. And I'm going to do whatever I can to pay you, but like, this is not a great time. And then our whole team shifted. Half the team left over the course of just a couple of weeks, and it brought us into a new era. And that era was exactly what I needed, even though it was completely different than the people were different, where we were headed was different, all of that stuff. So there's the last 5 years have caused a lot of reflection, as I think, tried forcing something that really, I was trying to survive and figure out how to survive. And, I launched this new brand, and then I'm like, wait, I got to pump the brakes here. Who am I to, I have a video production brand. I have this coaching, mentoring brand where you're hanging out with me right now, Studio Sherpas. So I'm juggling kind of two things. Even though Studio Sherpas, I only spend 1 day a week working on that business. Tell Studios, our production brand, I spend roughly 3 days a week working on that business. So who am I to think that I could create like a whole other business with another name, URL, email, just all of this stuff? It's like when we went from doing weddings in corporate, and then we stopped doing weddings and we just focused on corporate. I was like, oh, finally, I've just got one email address. We just have one phone number. We just have one social media platform and space. The simplicity of that, super alluring. And that's where we can really thrive. But when we create multiple things, think that there's opportunity to create, like every millionaire has multiple streams of revenue. That's not, oh man. My story, it's not a great example of like, oh yeah, just start another business and you'll make even more money. It's like, no. You start another business, you get spread thin pretty quick. And unless you have processes and people and all the things in place to run and rock that one business, then you're going to get rocked. And that makes it very challenging. So that was a fail. I mean, I had to put a pin in it. I deleted it from my LinkedIn, the higher ed brand. And I just said, hey, if anybody, I still want to do that kind of work and we can still pursue those people, but to have a whole brand focus on that, like that's a really smart play, but I got to figure out this business. So sort of state of the union. And sorry if this feels like I'm just like, I don't think I'm complaining. I'm trying to give you context and maybe you can relate to some of this story. In 2016, I read a book called Built to Sell by John Warlow. Great book, great guy. Had him on the show probably in, 2016 or 2017. I read that book. I was like, we got to get this guy on the show. And reading that book, I said, hey, I don't want to sell my business. I'm not ready to sell my production business. I don't even want to do that. And that's what the gist of the book is. Hey, you don't have to sell it, but why don't you get your business to a place where it could be sold? Because there's a lot of freedom that comes in the simplicity of having something that is built to sell, which means that you are not the cog. You are not the thing in the middle that's required for all of the things. If you can take yourself out and the business can run without you, isn't that what we all want? And then to be able to insert myself in whatever areas I want because I want to, because I get to, not because I have to. And if I could get to the business, if I could get the business to that place, then maybe I could start something else. And maybe I could do more passion projects, things that don't even necessarily have to generate revenue, but if they do, great, that's icing on the cake. We've already got our tried and true product and offer and that works. And so we're good. So if Ryan does something else, not a big deal. So I read that book in 2016. Fast forward, it's currently 2025. And just now, in the past couple of months, as I've been doing all of this processing and trying to figure out what is the next place, the next thing, where do I want to go? I'm ready to, burn the ships and just say, okay, I'm done with video production. I'm going to do something that I'm finding a lot more fulfillment and joy in. It's coaching, it's mentoring, it's doing leading masterminds, it's hosting events for filmmakers and other creatives. That sounds amazing, but pump the brakes, Ryan. What if you've built a studio, you have processes, you have a lot of clients, you have a lot of work coming in. I mean, we had our best first quarter than we've had since I think before COVID. It was a huge first quarter. Second quarter, we're trending. I don't think we're going to have like one of the best quarters ever, but we're going to have a really good second quarter. So I'm feeling very optimistic about the state of where things are at. And we're really focusing, because I finally have a renewed vision for the video production business. I finally am at a place where I am saying, I really would love to build this business so that I can sell it. Like, I think that's my new end goal. And so I set a goal, say by the end of next year, end of 2026, I want to be in a position where the majority of the work that's coming in is predictable. It's through a couple of different offers or packages. It's not primarily custom work. We do great with custom work, but the problem with custom work is right now I'm the only one who knows how to quote that work out and to make sure that we're going to be profitable on it. My team, that's not my expectation for them, is to know how to quote stuff like that out. But they could definitely know, hey, we've got these three packages and they sell for this, and this, and here's what's included. And we can do these with our eyes closed because we've created systems and processes around all the things, and we know what the deliverables are, and we know how long the deliverables need to be, and we know what assets we need to collect from the client, what sound bites we need to capture, what visuals we need to capture in order to create these things. Is that maybe a little bit boring and not super sexy? Well, I think it depends on how you look at it. I remember back in the day when we were doing weddings, we had three packages that we offered and we would customize, but we did these so many weddings, and our goal every wedding was like, hey, let's try to just nail the shot. Let's try to do better than we did the time before. And there was an excitement in that. And I never felt bored, even if we were at the same venue. So I think it's a matter of approach. The fact that I'm not going to be in the center of producing these packaged things makes me feel like, yeah, I don't care. Like, let's just find people that would get excited about creating these kinds of videos. And if they don't get excited about creating, I'm not going to call them cookie cutter, but definitely more formulaic type videos. If people aren't going to be excited about that, then they're not going to be a great fit here. So let's look for people that would get excited about creating the same-ish kind of things. And the block that I had was back when I had John and Grant working for me, and we're at like 2017, 2018. We filmed all these weddings together. We did all this amazing stuff. We dreamed about this corporate brand and, having our weekends free again. And as the founder of the company, I felt like it was my responsibility to make sure that they were going to stay excited and inspired, because those were words that they would use and say that that's why we like working here. So there was something that held me back from creating something so systematized. And even though with our wedding stuff, that's what we had. But I think there was just some sort of roadblock for me to think that that could be exciting for businesses. I mean, businesses, I shouldn't say. Weddings were super cool, and the stories we got to tell were amazing. Some of the businesses that we work with, like, it's not super exciting. It's just like, oh, here's a robot that does this thing. Okay, that's cool. But what's the story? Can you make me cry with this? Maybe. Anyway, all I'm saying is that that's what held me back for so long, is feeling like we had to continue to only create custom, very unique, inspiring type work. Fast forward all these years later, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's stuck with me, even though those guys don't even work for me. And that's not necessarily why my current team works for me. Those are not conversations that we've had to say like, oh yeah, let's continue. Like, how creative can we be, and how inspirational, and how, like, let's keep going deeper and deeper and get more creative and more custom and all this. That's not what they want. So I'm in the spot of like realizing, oh my gosh, we can create these packages for businesses and do a lot more stuff that's systematized to create this predictability. So all of that to reinforce this idea, by the end of next year, I mean, I really want to be able to say, hey, I can be hands off. This business can run. Somebody else can do the selling. The team does not need me micromanaging anything. They've got what they need. They know what to do, and this thing runs. So then at that point, I could find somebody that wants to buy this business. Right now, nobody's going to want to buy this business because I'm the guy that they're going to need. So they could buy the business, but they're going to be like, Ryan, you're going to need to be here for at least 2, 3, 5 years or whatever until we can build more systems and processes and packages and offers that we can create predictability and find somebody else that you can train to sell and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's what I want to do right now, so that by the end of next year, and maybe that's aggressive. I don't know if that's aggressive or not, but I feel like we're headed in that way. And just recently we sold one of the packages that we just created. So the first one, I'm like, okay, this is where we start. This is where it starts. So I'm reinvigorated. I'm re-excited, way more than I have been in the past few years. I mean, I was really excited when we launched the corp or the higher ed brand, but like I said, I did not have the people in place to help me manage and to run all of the things. We needed to really look back at Tell Studios and where are we making money with Tell Studios? Like, let's go back, let's make sure we're making money. And then if we get time and some margin, then Ryan, you can go focus and do more higher ed stuff. So we're still doing some higher ed stuff, just not leading with that brand, that new brand. There's the state of the union. I'm building something that I can sell, and I'm excited about that idea. I had a conversation just last week with a filmmaker, and this person told me, this is somebody that we've hired, and we've given this person a decent amount of work over the past year or so, shooting and editing. And this person's just afraid of this industry and where it's headed. And I get it, like AI, generative video, it's insane what can be made. He said that he's going to double down on trade. Like he works with his hands, he builds stuff, and he said that that's gonna be the thing that he focuses on. And he's probably not going to be doing filmmaking. And if he does, it sounds like it's going to be like barely a side hustle, which is sad because he's very talented, very talented. My question, or where this conversation keeps coming up, and people complain or whine. I know that sounds harsh, but people are whining. Filmmakers are whining, like, oh, AI is going to take our work. And if the only thing that you're offering is showing up for somebody and filming B-roll type stuff and just following the directions that somebody has for you, it's going to be really easy for that same client to have a machine follow directions for them. If you're not differentiating yourself, if you're not sharing with a client why you are more valuable, or why they should consider hiring you versus somebody else, or versus a machine, that's where the challenge for us is. And not so much, I shouldn't say so much us, because our focus really is like trying to come alongside clients to say, hey, you can do this on your own if you want, but do you want to? Like, I mean, is that how you want to be spending your time? Even though the technology is at all of our fingertips, doesn't mean that we should be coding websites now, and doesn't mean that we should become a video editor because the tools are there. It is a lot easier for people to get started. Is it as good? I don't know. Is it going to get better? It's totally going to get better. But for so many clients, they're still going to want and or need somebody that's going to own that. Even in a company that has a marketing team, there are going to be people on that marketing team that are busy doing other things. So for them to have to create the video or to manage the process, to sign off on the, the direction and all that stuff, it's like, at least for the time being, I'm not going to put a timeline on it. I don't know, 2, 3, 5 years. There's going to be a need for businesses to create video, and that could be AI generated video, or it could actually be, hey, we need mini documentary style or long form documentary. So we need real interviews and we need real B-roll. Can you supplement some real B-roll with fake B-roll? Sure. But 80% of it really needs to be all us, our heartbeat, our tone, not the AI version of me. Like, get me on camera doing the thing. So my challenge when I have these kinds of conversations is like, how are you going to market yourself? Like, what are you saying? What's the conversation? How are you positioning yourself? Because if you're positioning yourself as shooter editor, that's not as compelling and that's not as helpful for a client that needs somebody that understands more, that understands how marketing works or why it works or what are the things that are going to work when it comes to creating production. So my encouragement is, keep learning more, whether that's through creating more powerful stories or understanding marketing funnels. There's so much more to learn and to keep pressing in. And I know when you started, it was like, oh man, I just want to make pretty pictures. Well, there is a time and place for that. And I think that there's still going to be those needs. There's going to be certain clients that need those pretty pictures. But a lot of people are going to be asking that question. Do we need to spend $20,000 or $30,000 on that video that we used to? Can we get away with something less expensive? Or we've seen the value in having, spending that kind of money, and there is a return on that investment. So for the time being, like, yeah, let's keep going down that road. So long as you become, or you can become, a partner with your clients and a thinking partner and help them with strategy and help add value in the process. But there's a clear distinction between clients that want that kind of help versus clients that don't want it or don't need it. Get clarity. Get clarity on your discovery call. Are you somebody that you just want to tell us where we need to go, what we need to film, and how the order that we need to put it together? You just want it to be good? Or are you somebody that needs a thinking partner, somebody that's more strategic, maybe even somebody that's using AI and wanting to leverage it so that you get more use out of all the footage? Like, which one are you? Oh, okay, yeah, you're this one? Great. Like, let me send you more information. Oh, you just want to, well, yeah, we can point our cameras and shoot the things, follow your directions. That one, you're not going to be able to charge as much if you're a strategic partner. A strategic partner, like, you're going to be able to charge. I mean, we're charging. We just landed a $20,000 gig a couple of weeks ago with a client that they wanted to spend $5,000, and that's all they wanted to spend. I somehow talked them into doing this workshop, a paid workshop that was going to take half of the budget that they had set aside. They did this workshop and they realized, yeah, you know what? We are more excited about this project now. Thank you, Ryan. We're going to find more money. So they found $20,000 for this project. And for us, that's a differentiator. If you're not doing something like that, if you're not entering the conversation with, here's how we can help, and it's more than just showing up with a camera, shooting, editing, very easy type stuff, then I think there's going to be more challenges, and there are going to be people that are going to lose heart. But the other thing that just comes to mind when I'm having this conversation with this person is I would be curious to know, what steps are you taking to try to find clients? And my guess is this person isn't taking any steps. He's waiting for people like us to reach out and hire him. And he's waiting for his past clients to reach back out, or he's waiting for those past clients to refer him to other people. And if that's what you're doing, if that's called hope marketing, if that's what you're counting on to build your business, like that's going to be really hard, especially in today's day and age. Wherever you're at, if you're in this spot where you feel like I want to do this work, it seems like maybe I do need to be a little bit more strategic in what I'm offering to my clients. If that's you, can I just invite you to check out more of the ecosystem of what I'm building inside of Studio Sherpas, inside of the Grow Your Video Business world, the 10X Filmmaker community, the mastermind that I lead. Can I just invite you to check that stuff out and take it a little bit more seriously today? And maybe business for you is fine, you're good, but maybe even what I'm saying about wanting to be able to sell my business, maybe that resonates with you. And if you want to see how I'm doing this, like get more plugged in. Don't just, be on the sidelines and wait to see, but get into my world, get a little bit closer so you can see what steps I'm taking and what things I'm going to start doing and what things I'm going to stop doing. I would love to be able to share those and hopefully inspire you so that you can, I still believe that this work is so powerful. I believe that it can make a massive impact. And that's why I feel compelled to stay in it. Even if and when I sell this company, there's a part of me that's like, well, maybe I'll, have one like full-time video person that works with me and we can create stuff together. Or maybe that's the team. Like I can utilize the team or something like that. I don't see myself walking away from creating at all. Like if anything, I'm wanting to ramp up the stuff that I'm creating, and I want to create more of what I want to create. And, still do client work, sure. But if I got to pick client work or stuff that I want to do, I'm like, I want to do the stuff that I want to do and find the stories and that sort of thing. So if you're sitting here and you're like, yeah, Ryan, I want to know more. I want to get plugged in. I mean, I think by the time this episode releases, we've already launched our second mastermind. So too late, but you can find out more about the mastermind that I lead, where we meet twice a month virtually. We host an in-person retreat once a year. People get ongoing coaching with me. So if you wanted to be able to send me a voice message and just say, Ryan, I'm about to send this proposal off to a client. What should I do? What should I say? How should I help me? Then I send a voice message back. Hey, great idea. Do it. You've got what it takes based on, all this stuff. Like, go ahead, just do it. Having that, just that one element there has been really helpful for my mastermind people. But to be able to be in a group with other people who are trying to build a video business has been so inspiring, so helpful. And there's a reason why people have been in the mastermind for years and keep coming back, because having a community of people is the thing that creates accountability. It creates a sense of belonging. It creates fulfillment in this work. And to have a group of people that have your back and want the best for you and for your business, man, I can't talk more highly about the mastermind that I lead, but also the mastermind that I'm in. I'm in a mastermind that I pay. I got a message this morning. The guy who leads our mastermind, his dad passed away. And so this mastermind other member reached out to me and said, hey, what do you think if we made a video like that helped promote his mastermind? Cause he's opening the doors, next month for his mastermind. Could we help promote? He's been super busy and it's just been really hard. I'm like, dude, that's amazing. Another person in our mastermind is getting sued. And like, it's just like this really ugly situation. They have a former client that's just really ugly. And this person doesn't have the bandwidth to go see his daughter. And so somebody in that mastermind texted all of the members and said, hey, what if we all pitched in $50 and helped give this person the money that they need to go on this trip and do this thing? And everybody, within just, I think it was like an hour, we had all the money collected. A person in our mastermind, the mastermind that I lead, we all thought was going to die, got sick. And I had multiple people reaching out to me separately saying like, hey, can I do this for this person? Is that weird? Is it like, just to see the people come around this person? I'm like, this is beautiful and amazing. Until you're in it, it's hard to really understand the value of it. But that's where like I want to free up more of my time so I can spend more time inside of these smaller communities of people that are building businesses to help encourage them, inspire them, and let them know they've got what it takes, and share what's working, what's not working, and to facilitate and to bring other amazing people inside of their circle. So if that sounds interesting at all to you, then check out the Mastermind. You can go on the wait list. We'll reopen the doors at the start of, well, really at the end of this year for the next round of masterminds. You can learn more about the Mastermind by going to studiosherpas.com/mastermind. Also, we've got our free Facebook community. I spend some time in there. I spend the most time with my Mastermind people. They get the most close time with me. But if you just want to get plugged in, you want to start meeting people, then check out the community. You can go to studiosherpas.com/community. I think will take you to the free group that you can get plugged in. But then if you want to go deeper, we've got a lot of opportunities for people that are more serious and are ready to just take things to the next level. So that's my invitation for you. I'm so glad that you're here. And even if this is enough for you, you feel like, yeah, I want to watch the YouTube videos or just listen to the podcast, then I'm glad that you're here. I hope you get value out of this. And if one day you say, hey, I do want to come to one of your events, or I do want to get plugged into the Mastermind, or I do want to get plugged into 10X Filmmaker, then the door's open. You get the emails if you're on our list. And if you're not, then go to studiosherpas.com and you can get on the list there somewhere. But appreciate you. If this has been helpful, please share with somebody else. I would love to know if you got any comments. Leave those below the video. Reach out to me directly if you want to. Ryan@studiosherpas.com is my email. And I'm here. I'm here to cheer you on and to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to have your ear. And I don't take it lightly. It is a gift, and I appreciate that we get to do this together. So that's all I've got. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time. Hey, thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the Grow Your Video Business podcast. If you got something out of today's conversation, do me a favor, share it with a friend or post it on your socials. Tag me at Ryan Koral or at Grow Your Video Business. I'd love to know what resonated with you. If you've got a question or takeaway, drop a comment wherever you're listening or watching this. You can also shoot me a message. I read every single one. And hey, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. We've got more stories, strategies, and behind the scenes insights coming your way to help you build a business that you love. Keep creating, keep sharing your story, and keep showing up. I'm cheering you on. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you next time.